Yeah, hi. I'm Eric Ahrens, and I've lived here since 1983. The house was built in 1932, and it was the first house in this whole neighborhood here. And um, and then slowly, other houses got built here. And I think it was the first house because this part of the hills is about the steepest in all the hills here in Berkeley, and so putting roads in here must have been difficult. So I bought the house, and then several years later, it was in 2006, I put solar cells onto the house, and I did that because I thought that would be interesting. And I knew something about electrification and global warming and all that, but it was kind of a game, and it's been an interesting game to follow all this, and because it's gotten me involved with other people and groups that have solar cells. In 2012, I got a Volt car. Again, that was something interesting. It's a really excellent car. And then 2018, I got a Tesla, so we have these two electric cars. And 2 years ago, I put in heat pumps, both for the air in the house, that's called space heating, and for the hot water. And then last year we put an induction stove in. Yeah, it was in 2005 that a friend of mine put solar cells onto his house, and so I copied him and put solar cells onto mine in 2006. And I picked SunPower, which is a U.S. company, and it makes the highest efficiency solar cells. I also liked it that it was a U.S. company because I do buy American if I can, and these solar cells, they were the best in the world. Yeah, hi. Yeah, and it's good that you came over because we'd like to show you our induction stove here. And so come on in and take a look.
Hi. So what I like about the induction stove is that especially the cooktop, it just is fast. I mean, you could boil water in seconds in a pot. So, and the evenness with the cooking is the best I've experienced thus far. The ability to just be able to shut the burner off and leave the pot on the stove and know that it's not going to cook anymore is a real plus. On this unit, there is a non-induction burner, so that makes it nice that if you cook something, you can warm it. So that's great. The ability to just clean it like any glass top is really pretty easy. The black, of course, shows more smudges than white, but I just find that we are using 3 pots to cook things now, and it's just simplified how I cook. There's just 2 of us, but it's just the ability to cook things on the cooktop much faster. The oven is the regular electric oven, and but it does have induction or the roast features and the convection roast and the convection bake, which cuts cooking time sometimes 20 minutes. This is the GE Cafe model, which is the middle to upper range model of induction stoves that GE makes. We designed our garden to be low water, many drought tolerant plants, and some natives.
Yeah, so we have two heat pumps here. One is for the air in the house. That's called space heating. And the air handler is over here. That has a radiator in it, like a car radiator. And you make it hot in the wintertime to heat the house and cold in the summer to cool the house down. And it has a fan and blows air into these ducts here. Here's the intake air out of the house and then through these ducts into the house. And so that heats or cools the air. And the thing that does the heating and cooling is outside the house on the other end of these pipes here. We'll go out and take a look at that. Then for the hot water, we have a hot water tank here, and that also is a heat pump. And the unit outside the house, there's a thing outside the house, and does the heating and heats up hot water that comes in here. And then we have this tank, so that if there's a power outage, if the electricity goes out, we can keep hot water for a couple of days because the tank is quite big. Anyway, it's a sand and hot water heater that uses carbon dioxide in the compressor outside. And carbon dioxide has the advantage that if it leaks out, and refrigerants do leak occasionally, carbon dioxide is much less infrared or heat trapping than the gases and liquids that are used for most heat pumps. This is a compressor for the heat pump to heat the air for the space heating in the house, and it's hooked up to a 220 volt outlet here, and so it can operate both as a heat pump to heat the air and as an air conditioner to cool the air in the house. This is the compressor for the Sandin heat pump. That's the hot water heat pump. Again, it's hooked into a 220 volt outlet, and it works very nicely. We've got two electric cars. So on the two cars that we have, on the Chevrolet Volt, this is the charger for it, and it plugs into a normal 120 volt outlet. Nothing special here. And for the Tesla, we plug that into a 220 volt outlet. Again, nothing special. It's a normal 220 volt outlet. And so with off 120 volt, a charger, either for the Volt or for the Tesla, if we had a Tesla charger here, it will give you 40 miles of range in 10 hours of charging. And that's sort of good for overnight charging. And this thing here, well, in 13 hours, it'll give you 300 miles. If there's a power outage, one can take electricity out of the big battery in the Volt here and run an extension cord into the house and run the refrigerator to keep food cold, or run some lights or so. So this is a 1.5 kilowatt or 1500 watt inverter, and it can be plugged into the Volt here, and then an extension cord that goes into the house can be plugged in here. And so I'll show you how it's plugged in here. So during a planned power outage, we can put the inverter in the car and hook it up here, and then run this extension cord here and run it into the house, up the stairs, up into the kitchen, to the refrigerator. So putting all these appliances in the house was a lot of fun. I did it kind of for fun and interest. And what it did, it got me to look into solar cells and to understand them well, and into electric cars and to understand them well. and I've gotten people in the neighborhood to buy these things, get them themselves. In fact, I've gotten about 20 people to buy electric cars. I got 10 sort of on my own and the other 10 with some other people. This all got me into the Berkeley Climate Action Coalition, and so I've been able to help there and participate in discussions and in electric fairs that they have for cars, electric fairs for heat pumps and that kind of thing. So I've been able to explain things, and so that's given me a lot of satisfaction that I've been able to help the community this way.